I'm on the curatorial team of the archives, and it's our job to go out and identify, first of all, and then acquire personal papers and institutional records that have national significance in the arts. So we're looking at some documents, some objects from the papers of Angel Suarez Rosado, who is a living artist based in Pennsylvania, from Puerto Rico, originally born in the town of Calle, and went to art school at the School of Visual Arts in New York City in his young adulthood. So what we're looking at here first are some pastels and colored pencil sketches of imagery that is part of Angel's visual iconography, his lexicon. Angel's practice, what you would see in a museum or a gallery, are altars that he makes that incorporate sculptures made out of found objects, masks, and often are the sites for ritual practices or performance art that Angel performs himself. So he uses his own body in his art as well in these environments that he creates. Sketches are a great way to kind of just see some of the visual influence of those, what you ultimately see in the final work. So artists often use sketchbooks as sort of spaces to free think, especially at the beginning of projects. So that could be what we're looking at here. I don't think these are part of any final project. So you can really tell by the different images that are put in here that are in relationship to one another. Though it is really a special document visually and physically, it is something we all do, thinking with our notebooks through kind of freewheeling ideas on the way to some final idea or project. So don't throw away your notebooks. It's something I tell people all the time. We don't collect books in the archives. Typically the Library of Congress has them, so researchers can access them there, and it's just down the road, or even our Smithsonian Art Library across the hall has them. So it looks like a very, the New Age encyclopedia, very kind of mass-produced standard book. But then we open it to reveal a sculpture that Angel's made inside the book. There's rope knots, and then there's needles stuck through this, covered with what looks like acrylic paint, gold, red, blue, and white, and then a pastel drawing on the other side that Angel made that echoes the sculpture we see inside the book. So artists obviously don't work and live alone, and they often care a lot about other artists, whether because they're their friends and peers, their students. Artists care about other artists' legacies as well, who are important to them. Angel very much operated that way, and his papers reflect that, as he acted sort of as an archivist for the artists he cared about. These are pastel illustrations of things like the Model T, very early Mercedes-Benzes, done by the artist Justin McCarthy. And at some point he handed it to Angel and his partner and said, "I'm giving you this because there's a dealer who wants it, and he wants to tear out each page and sell them off, and that's just not what I want to happen with this." Angel and his partner protected it, and then when Angel and I were discussing his papers, he decided to give us the notebook. It's because Angel can't protect it forever, but we ostensibly can. Angel did this great thing. He basically did my job for other artists, so getting his papers was a real bang for our buck, as we get to see the histories not only of Angel, which is significant enough, but these other artists who probably aren't documented anywhere besides in this collection. But now they're part of the American art record, which is exactly what we want to do.